My name is Brent Messenger.
My name is Ren Messenger. Brent and I went to the same college in Salisbury, Catawba College. And so I was going for a therapeutic recreation major and he was a music major. And we met through the marching band and the music program. It's always been a passion for the both of us. And so that's how we came to get to know each other and came to get engaged my sophomore year of college.
We got engaged, we knew that church was really important to us, and that was obviously a big part of why we even got together in the first place, why our relationship was built through Christ, which was important to us, but we were both super involved in our own home churches. And so it was kind of an ironic thing that two people who value going to church together and living through Christ, that we weren't worshiping together. And so it just seemed kind of crazy that we were both believers in Christ and church was important to us, but yet we couldn't do church together. So we wanted to find a place for both of us to do that together.
When we came to Hope City, we really enjoyed the atmosphere. We thought it was a very welcoming place. We thought that it was a very open place, and we fully enjoyed the music, which was always important for us.
For me personally, I'm a music teacher. Music's always been really important to me, so that was the first thing that grabbed me, was the music and the worship experience at Hope City. And also the preaching, honestly. For me, could be just my age and finally taking my faith more seriously, but this is the first time listening to Robbie preach was the first time I ever really took sermons seriously and really digested them well and thought about them a lot and actually put a lot of thought into them as opposed to just words in and out.
We just felt like it was a great place, really close to home, that we could really get involved and use our gifts and talents that God had given us to help build and worship in the church.
So we've always been a part of things that are growing and taking things from its infancy and seeing them grow. And ironically, we both thought that coming to Hope City would be the first time we were walking into something more established. We thought we were going to take a break from pushing something and growing something and kind of take a little bit of a hiatus from that. And we couldn't have been more wrong, because not long after we came to Hope City, Robbie announced that they were moving buildings and that we were going to do all this stuff was happening, all this change was happening. And so it became very apparent that we were not going to be away from change and just continue to do that. And so we were sitting at church, and Robbie introduced Kyle and Ashley Chastain, the pastor and his wife of Aspire, just very briefly, and said, just want to introduce these guys. And I literally felt a tug of my heart from God that this could be very cool.
We were both leaving church in the car, and so he just kind of turned to and looked at me and said, do you remember what they were talking about with Aspire and how they wanted to build a new church in Concord? I just really perked up and started listening to that. Do you think that that would be something that we could do or that you would want to do? And so, you know, just the passion that I saw in his face as he was talking about it and how special it seemed to him, you know, it just made me kind of feel like, how could I say no? You know, he talked about the tug on his heart that God placed on him, and, you know, it was one of those things where this is what we're supposed to do. And we really weren't sure what that meant for us, what all would be involved in that path. But when God speaks to you in that way and really makes that impact, you know, you kind of got to go with it. Currently, Aspire meets on Wednesday nights as a small group, similar to the other small groups that Hope City puts together, the life groups that Hope City puts together. So our core group of volunteers meets weekly, and we are really just growing and building each other up as a core group. We've spent the last couple of months just building each other up and discovering more about each other so that we could be really close and grow, because you can't start something new and something bigger than yourself without, you know, really being invested in each other.
I would say the challenge is to be okay with being uncomfortable. It's so easy for us to just be in a location or a spot in our lives, in a season in our life where it feels like everything's working out. It's easy to be comfortable. And it's usually when you're uncomfortable is where a lot of change truly happens. And so if there's any part of you that feels that tug on your heart like I had to go be a part of something that's bigger than yourself, that's a big thing that we keep saying, that Pastor Kyle keeps saying, is that we want to be a part of something. Everyone wants to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves. And we want to try to provide that something for people. We want to try to provide that medium for people to reach Christ. And if you feel that way and you feel like you want to try to maybe play a bigger role than you've had the ability to serve in the past, then this would be a great opportunity for you to do that.